backyard on central Vancouver Island. I'm Lisa, and this is my gardening and nature channel. And today we're taking a look at everything in the backyard that isn't in the vegetable garden. I made a separate edited video on my vegetable garden updates. If you're interested, go check that out a little later. Today we're focusing on the ornamentals in the backyard garden. Starting right beside me, this is my rose called Nicole. This is a gorgeous rose. I'll give you a better look at it. You can see some of the different colors. This is a fresh bloom compared to a bloom that is almost faded. I believe this is a Floribunda rose, if I'm not mistaken. I love how vibrant the colors are. It's pretty much two-toned. You've got the white shades mixed with the neon pink, and it is just so pretty. And this is what it looks like as it ages. So beautiful. You can see different blooms at different stages on the plant. Very, very nice. And that is growing beside a Desert King fig tree right here. Quite a few figs in this tree. And beside the rose on the other side, we have a single pink knockout rose. This is what the flowers look like. And I'll show you the difference between the single pink knockout rose and I have a double pink knockout rose. Right over here, this is what we call a double pink knockout rose. You can see the flower structure is quite a bit more fluffy and frilly. There's a lot more petals on the double pink knockout roses compared to the single ones, and they are beautiful too. Lots of deadheading for me to do. You don't have to deadhead, but it looks better and you'll probably get more blooms if you do. These are awesome in bouquets. And we're going to come back over this way. We have some more roses to check out here. This is what we call a snow pavement rose. And when I bought this rose, it was actually advertised as being pink. No, as being white. But it ended up being pink. It looked exactly like what you see, the color, except it was white, not pink, and it ended up being pink. So I think that is super interesting. The center was exactly as advertised. It was just, I don't know if it's the soil or if it was false advertising, but something was off because this was supposed to be a white rose. But it is beautiful. And one of the things I love about the snow pavement rose is there's hardly any thorns. It's perfect for bouquets because you don't have to remove many thorns. There are thorns, but not every branch has thorns and they aren't too significant. So that is one really nice thing about this rose. It kind of gives me wild rose vibes. It's not a wild rose, but that's what it kind of feels like. And I love how the flowers are in these beautiful clusters. I think it is so gorgeous. And so many of them on each plant. Very, very abundant. This here is a western red cedar. These trees need a lot of water. And in future gardens, I probably wouldn't plant them again because they need so much water. They're not exactly drought tolerant. Over here, this is another Desert King fig tree. A really great tree for Vancouver Island. Very drought tolerant and produces really well. There definitely are figs in here. There's so many leaves now, you can hardly even see the figs. I think at the top is where most of them are. The other tree has a few more than this one. Another western red cedar right here. And coming over this way, this is actually a wildflower. Some people consider it a weed, but I call it a wildflower. I can't actually remember the name, but it is so beautiful. I refuse to pull these out as weeds. I actually started cultivating them in my garden last season. I had one that sprouted in my gravel, and I purposely didn't pull it out. I let it seed, and it went into my little border here. And now I have 4 of them, and I couldn't be more happy. They are so pretty. Actually, no, there's more than 4. There's actually, I think, 7 of them, just from letting one wildflower go to seed, which is so awesome. Didn't plant them. I think these are native on Vancouver Island, though I'd have to look up the name. I'm not sure. Really beautiful color. And here are some poppies. They're starting to fade, but still very vibrant in the landscape. There is my coconut ice peach tree. I should probably do a little maintenance here. I think some of these should be thinned out actually. There are some unhealthy looking peaches on here, with the ones that are definitely doing better. Not nearly as abundant as last season though, which is fine. Every year there's a tree that thrives, and it's not the year of the peach this season. It's the year of the fig and the apple this year. Here's a foxglove that is starting to fade. The Dusty Millers are really putting on a lot of growth. Hello, Fart Sack Jack. Welcome to my backyard garden tour. Thank you. My oregano is just starting to bloom. I love these beautiful dark purple flowers. Are so beautiful. And I've added a few fairies to the back garden. These were not here before. I actually gave them a makeover, and I think they have much more of a pop now in the landscape. I really love these vibrant colors. And some of my little white Mayland shrub rose cuttings are actually starting to bloom, which is so exciting. I have some more over here. These were basically free plants from the ones in my rock garden, and they're blooming this season. Very nice. I love the contrasting color with the oregano, kind of the lime green foliage, and the Dusty Miller. So pretty. And the yarrow is just going bananas here. So many white blooms. There is another foxglove that is fading. And we'll take a little sneak peek at my plum tree. We haven't looked at that in a little while. This is my plum tree that I swear is dying a very slow death, but it still has plums on it despite its tragic happenings that are going on with this tree. I do think that it is dying a death primarily because of what is happening down here. I can actually stick my finger inside the tree, and I don't think that's a good sign. I'm sure there are insects and other things in this tree, and that is why it is super unhealthy, but it still has plums on it. And there's more plums at the lower section of the tree. So it's doing its best to live its best life, even in the last years of its life. I think some of us could learn from this plum tree. It is like living its life to the fullest, even when it doesn't have a lot of life left. So that is the status of the plum tree. And this is my 9-bark. It's pretty much finished blooming, but I still love the dark foliage. It's so striking in the landscape, that purpley black right in front of you. And we'll check the cherry tree. There aren't a lot of cherries left. I've been eating and picking quite a few cherries almost every day. It's mostly the green cherries that are left now, but there are some red ones. Let's see if the birds haven't eaten this one. It's not vibrant red. I could wait a bit longer, but the birds come here every day, so we're just gonna eat it. There's a bird here right now. And it is really good. I don't think I can get the bird on camera. I'm looking for it in the tree. I know it's here. You can probably hear it because I can hear it. But I don't exactly know where in the tree it is. It's around here somewhere. There's multiple birds that come every day and have lots of snacks in this tree. This is your neighbor Tom. I know you stole the Doritos. Please return them. I don't have a neighbor named Tom, but thank you very much. That's a very interesting comment. um, yeah, so back on the flower tour, we have some snapdragons here. They are very beautiful. I love the pure white color, just a little yellow in the center. Like one from India. Thank you so much. Foxgloves are starting to fade. I really enjoy these purple flowers. I cannot remember the name. I feel like they might be my bee balm, but they don't look like a bee balm to me. I do think I planted them last year from seed, and they're perennial. And this is the first time they've ever bloomed. But I actually don't remember the name 100% for sure. And I wish I did because they're so pretty and there's so many of them on the slope. I don't think they're edible from what I remember, but so gorgeous. I haven't put these in any bouquets yet, but I think that I should. They're just so lovely. I've got some baby's breath mixed in the slope with another flower that I don't know the name of. I should. I'm sure I planted this a couple years ago in the front rock garden and somehow it ended up in the back. It's sort of a vibrant pink. Don't know the name. Very pretty though. There's some bachelor's buttons at the bottom. And my yellow alyssum is fading, but it's been blooming since about, let's say March. So March, April, May, June, 4 months. So even though it's faded, there's still color here. And I think it contrasts really well with the purple, the yellow. And right over here, these are Texas bluebonnets. I planted them last year from seed, from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. She's a company in Texas, and they came back, and I'm so excited. I didn't actually plant more of them. Can you suggest fruiting plants for containers and plants for butterflies? Butterflies, you need a butterfly bush. You absolutely need to get a buddleia, I think it's called, butterfly bush. And for fruiting plants in containers, raspberries. Get a big container and plant raspberries. Much more likely to be successful than blueberries. Much easier to grow. We're going to check out the apple trees. We have a 5 variety apple tree here. Lots of apples this season. Probably even more than last season, and we had about 500 last year. So many apples. I do need to thin them a little bit more. I started thinning them a few times, but I think there's a lot more that I should remove. And this is the second 5 variety apple tree. This one is much smaller, which is actually a good thing, but it definitely has a lot of apples on it. It's going to be another apple season. I'm just picking more of them off as we go because it definitely needs more thinning here. So many apples all over this tree. Tom, you are a fibbing. Sounds kind of poetic. What flavor? Well, there's 10 different varieties. I have 2 trees. They're both 5 variety combo trees from Costco. And no, I didn't memorize the tags, but between the 2 trees, there's 10 flavors of apple. There's red ones and green ones and yellowy red ones. There's all different colors on these trees. I have some apple harvesting videos you can watch from last season if you go back to last fall. There are lots of apple videos on this channel already. Yep, they're all on 2 trees. So there's 10 varieties on 2 trees. That's how many there are. And we're going to check out the blueberry bushes. It looks like they're just starting to ripen. This is one of the blueberry bushes. I think I'm going to have some. Give them a try. Why not? First blueberries of the season here. Not bad. could be a tad sweeter, but pretty good overall. I think I'm going to have another one. Blueberries are another one of the birds' favorite snacks around here, so when they start ripening, you have to be quick. Otherwise, you'll lose your fair share. So good. If you've never eaten a homegrown blueberry, they are really super, super delicious. They literally taste like a different fruit if you compare these to the grocery store. I used to hate blueberries when I was a child because I never tasted a homegrown one until my parents bought a blueberry bush, grew blueberries, and then all of a sudden I loved blueberries. My grandma gave them to me for my birthday. You're very silly. Yeah, I don't really eat a lot of potato chips. Like, I'm one of those people that can literally eat 2 chips and put the bag down and not eat them again for a week. Like, I don't eat a ton. I mean, sometimes I'll have like 5 maximum, but I'm not like eat the whole bag in 2 days kind of person. I'm just not really a chip person. On the other hand, I like seaweed snacks. I can eat a whole container of seaweed snacks in about a minute. Sometimes I even eat 2 per day. I really love seaweed, but I don't love potato chips that much. Subscribe to your channel. Thank you so much. Granny, don't buy junk food. Wrong answer. Oh, wow. You're full of compliments tonight. Thank you so much. Let's have another blueberry. I'm into the health here. I'm not really into the chips, but blueberries are healthy and they're delicious. So I'm going to have another blueberry snack while you leave your very kind comments. I didn't mean you, dear. Okay, well, thank you. These are so good. I'm going to have another one. This is like my blueberry after work snack. If you're a granny, you're a very young one. Well, thank you. I am not a granny. No, not at my age. I hope not. That would be insane. Yeah, let's have some more blueberries before the birds eat them. He said Granny got chips for his birthday. Yeah. I'm just gonna munch on the blueberries and listen to this debate about potato chips or some other chips. Doritos. Very interesting. What else should we look at? There are some more blueberry bushes. We've taken quite a few from this one, but we can check out a few more. Coming up the pathway, there's a tomato plant, and they have this plant. I believe this was a mystery plant in my last season, and I think we identified it as mallow. Kind of a tropical looking flower, and it spreads everywhere. Like, check this out. There are so many of these mallow plants. But I'm not complaining because I think the flowers are so beautiful. I want a food forest like Howie. Then you have to go plant your food forest. Take Howie's advice and get out there and start planting. Plant vegetables, plant berries, plant trees, plant some cucumbers. You have to start planting if you want a food forest. Here we have another blueberry bush. This is a much more vigorous blueberry bush and a little slower to ripen. Totally different variety than the one we just had. I did try one earlier. It was a little sour. And this one too. It's not bad. Could be better. It actually needs more time. I'm just prophylactically eating them before the birds get them. That's what we're doing here today. And this here is a barberry bush. So much color. And there's another one here. It's like a fuchsia with purple and some variegation. So nice. Tomatoes, peppers, beans, lettuce. Basic stuff to eat better. Definitely. Well, I have a place to garden. We're in the townhouse. We have a raised garden. In your raised garden, then, in a container garden, you can garden in many places. This bush right behind me, if you have an issue with security and you live in a zone 7 to 9, it may grow in other zones as well. I didn't Google it. This is a very good bush if you have any security concerns. It has mega thorns, more so than cactuses and more so than roses. It is very prickly. You need very thick gloves to do anything with this bush. So I highly, highly recommend, if you have a place you don't want intruders, plant this plant. These thorns look harmless, but let me tell you, they are not harmless. They will create large cuts in you if you're not careful. So really good for security and super beautiful, but not good if you have people or animals that are going to be touching the bush. So don't plant it if you have creatures who are going to get into these bushes. We would be closer to getting out of here, but I've been off of medical for 2 years with almost no income, so we have to start saving again. Oh, that's so hard. Where am I from? I am from Canada, Vancouver Island. Where are you from? Perfect to keep Dorito thieves away. Absolutely. Perfect to keep all thieves away, whether we're trying to protect our potato chips, our blueberry plants, our fig trees, our apple harvest. Pretty much perfect for protecting everything. These plants are pretty much warrior plants, so don't get close to them. Okay, I think I will show you my Chicago hardy fig tree. We didn't take a close look at it for a while. Let's do that. This is my honeyberry. The blueberries are done for the season, but they did have a nice little crop early on. And we're just going to take a little slope tour down here. The raspberries are starting to ripen. I did eat some earlier. I'm going to let these ones ripen a little bit more before I snack. I did eat quite a few blueberries, and I had a cherry. So I probably don't need any more sugar right now. And we're going to go up here and check out this fig tree. This is growing in the middle, well, the back of the vegetable garden, essentially. You're from India, Bangalore. Well, welcome from India. That is cool. Welcome to Vancouver Island. This is a Chicago hardy fig tree, and I just noticed this. This is a second crop of figs. There's big figs on here, and these are little ones just forming. It's so cool. You can see the big fig here, and then these two little ones, I just spotted them. They're starting to form, so that'll be a fall crop. That is really cool. Now I'm curious if there's extra figs on here that I just don't know about yet. Let's do a thorough examination of the tree. Checking for more figs. I know there's one or two big ones in here. Bigger ones. There's more little ones forming. So exciting. Hello, Willow. Welcome. We're analyzing my Chicago hardy fig tree this evening. There's a couple big ones, and I just spotted little ones, which will be a fall harvest. So exciting. Where did I spot the other big one? It's the foliage is hiding everything now. It's kind of like Where's Waldo with the figs. There's one there. I thought there were 3 on this tree. And I'm definitely seeing a whole bunch of baby figs forming. I've probably seen like 6 or 8, which is so exciting. Last fall was the first time I ever ate them. I didn't even get an early crop last year, so I'm super excited that these little figs are forming. You can see a little glimpse into the vegetable garden. I'm not going to do a full vegetable garden tour tonight. I did a little edited video earlier on the vegetable garden, so I'm going to leave it at that for the veggies. But we'll see. I think there's a few more flowers to check in the backyard garden for this little tour. This is my Abretia, and it's been blooming since, I'm going to say, like early March. I cannot believe how long it's still blooming for. The first year it bloomed. Yeah, I can't wait for the figs either. Figs and apples. I've been nibbling on cherries and today blueberries and peas, and then eating flowers. But other than that, and my lettuces, I guess some kale, but that's pretty much my whole spring garden right there. I haven't had a ton of stuff from the garden yet this year, so I'm really excited to start getting other things. Potatoes. Potatoes were an awesome harvest. I almost forgot about those potatoes, but pretty soon the cabbages are going to be done. I'm going to have quite a few cabbage heads, so that'll be exciting. But we do have some more flowers to look at. This is a shrub rock rose. I've talked about my ground cover rock roses a lot. I haven't talked a lot about these on this channel. They're so beautiful. It's a semi-evergreen, although I'd almost call it more deciduous. Supposed to be semi-evergreen on Vancouver Island, but it does lose a lot of leaves in the wintertime. Potatoes, yes, absolutely. I did my first potato harvest a week or two ago, and it was crazy, way more than expected, and they were so beautiful. So yeah, this is a gorgeous one. This is an orange rock rose shrub, and right behind it we have a pink rock rose shrub. Both semi-evergreens on Vancouver Island, and they are very interesting flowers. When the temperatures are cooler, they look like this, the colors, and as the temperature warms up, the colors become much lighter. Not like, oh, a rose, as it fades, the color changes. No, they start out pastel as the temperature is warmer. Kind of an interesting flower. And then at the back, we have another flower with a weed. Should be pulling these guys out. This flower has seeded all over my garden. I got it, I want to say it was either last year or the year before. And it was a mystery flower from a plant sale, no tag. And I have identified it as something called mallow. It kind of looks tropical-esque. And it literally spread all over my garden. And it is so gorgeous. I am not complaining. I think it is a good thing that it spread everywhere. You are simple and beautiful. Thank you. That is quite the compliment tonight. Yeah, so I'm not disappointed. I feel like this flower gives me very tropical vibes. It reminds me of a hibiscus. And speaking of hibiscus, right here, this is actually a hibiscus. Again, I haven't showed it too much on this channel, maybe once or twice. It doesn't bloom for very long, and it hasn't bloomed yet. It'll probably start blooming mid-July. And it gets white flowers with kind of a fuchsia pink center. It's a really, really beautiful hibiscus. This is actually a plant that my parents gave me from their garden. They have a absolutely massive hibiscus in their front rock garden. And it gets those beautiful white flowers. So one year they gave me this. It's kind of like an offshoot of their hibiscus. And I was so delighted. But one tip with hibiscus, if you're growing them, from my own experience, they need a lot of water. So you need to plant them somewhere where they're going to get adequate water, either from your hose or the soil is extra moist. Don't plant them in a dry location. They won't do very well. For the most varieties of hibiscus, they love moisture. Yes, it's definitely tropical willow. And I love that you can grow stuff like that on Vancouver Island. We're kind of a semi-tropical environment in many areas of the island. I think where you live, Willow, you can grow even more things like this, because I think your growing zone is almost one zone hotter than where I live. I think you're either a zone 9, possibly even higher. Yes, it is paradise in Victoria. It really is. Well, the whole island, but particularly Victoria. I'll just do a little recap. We looked at some of this stuff early in the live stream, but not many people were watching. This is my oregano that just started blooming. I love the contrasting colors with the Dusty Miller here. So gorgeous. And lots of oregano in bloom. This is actually yarrow. This is white yarrow, and it is going bananas here. I love it so much. My white Mayland shrub rose, these were grown from cuttings. I did not buy them. There's more here and more here, and they're starting to bloom this season, so that is so exciting. My Grace Ward ground cover, I have it in both the rock garden and this garden, and it is still in full bloom, going strong. There's yellow sedum starting to bloom mixed in with the Grace Ward, foxgloves, Dusty Millers, and the pansies are still going strong. Looks like something is eating them though. Some bug got into these pansies and is having a very nice snack. Kind of gives them a very rustic look. There are poppies that are almost faded, and the roses are still putting on a nice show. There's a few more roses. Oh, I almost forgot to show you guys something I've been actually waiting to show on this channel. This flower, this is 100% a mystery flower. I don't know where it came from, and I don't know what it is right here. It is so beautiful. Look at that. It is so cool, and look how big it is. That's my hand. I have no idea what this is. I didn't plant it, but what the heck is it? And I've smelled this multiple times. It smells so fresh, almost like a lemon. It like smells like a lemon fresh cleaning product. No joke, but in a good way. That's exactly how I describe it, like a lemony fresh cleaning product, like something you get in the cleaning aisle, but not like in a bad way, in like a really fresh and refreshing way. So good, but what is it? I have never seen a flower like this before in my life. It's like so solid. It's not like a yarrow, but who knows what it is? It's not yarrow at all. It's so different than yarrow, but I don't know what it is. I need like the flower gurus to join in this live stream and identify this flower. I really want to know the identity. It is so cool. There's another one here with bachelor's button growing in the middle of it. Really cool. This is my rose Showbiz. It's almost done blooming now. It'll probably get more flowers if I come clean it up. I just haven't done that yet. Autumn Joy Sedum, and my very weedy Creeping Thyme is in full bloom. The bees love it, but it does get full of weeds very easily. Mom had it. I have no clue what it is. Very interesting. I would love to know. And there is more of the mallow we showed earlier. And that is pretty much my whole backyard garden tour. We have covered everything. I'm going to save some of the other areas of the garden for other videos. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's so lovely, Island Sister. Yes, thank you, Willow. Thank you for joining in, everyone who has come here from India, from America, from Canada, all different areas of the world. I appreciate every person who stops by, and I really liked your little jokes you were telling me earlier. That was so lovely. Everyone has different senses of humor, but it kind of, I don't know, it makes life interesting to see different perspectives. Bye-bye. Sending you all a good dose of kindness and love. Have a good night.